All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today, sadly, we have to talk about the ponies again. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, there is a rumor that Xbox is going to be releasing a next-gen Xbox, not a mid-gen console, but a next-gen Xbox in 2026. The rumor is that Xbox wants to get ahead of PlayStation, get a new console out there, and be able to start selling that as a next-gen console as opposed to a mid-gen refresh. So, over on Twitter, X, or whatever you call it now, the ponies are making fun of Xbox for just skipping this generation, saying stuff like, well, they already failed, so they're already moving forward. Well, first of all, the pony said that Xbox was going third party, but now they are all of a sudden bringing out a new Xbox early as opposed to like coming out in 2027 or 2028. They're coming out like a year or two earlier, kind of like they did with 360 to kind of get a jump on the head start, or to kind of get a head start on the or a jump on like putting out next gen games. Well, here's the thing, man. The ponies say this is a bad idea, but every single one of them ponies are over there on Twitter right now begging, literally on their hands and knees, begging for a PlayStation or for a PlayStation 5 Pro so that they can, and wishing upon a star as hard as they can that it comes with Gran Turismo or a Grand Theft Auto 6 as a bundle package. So, what do you think is more pathetic? Begging for a updated mid-gen console refresh for PlayStation 5 Pro, because we already know the PS5 is a 864p machine. I mean, for the most part, as long as PlayStation is a 864p machine, Xbox is going to be an 864p machine because developers like to build these games in parity. So if the Xbox can do better, they hold it back because the PlayStation 5 can't do it. So basically, you see all these games coming out at 864p, and like we know that. I mean, like I have a PC, dude. I can tell you that, yeah, even just 2 teraflops for the most part doesn't necessarily matter too much when it comes to resolution. If the lower one can hit 4K or whatever, then that's fine. But seeing as the PlayStation 5 doesn't have the graphics power to really push over 864p, the Xbox does. The Xbox can easily get it up to 964p, maybe even 1080p. But the PlayStation 5 is stuck at its 864p. No matter what you do, like that's the max that thing is doing on some of these newer games at 60 frames per second. So I could see why the ponies would want a new, upgraded mid-gen refresh, because this console generation still got to 2027. We're just barely 3 years into it. We're already starting to get games that are sub 1080p. Like I could understand that. I could even understand Xbox fans being like, yo man, we want a console that's going to give us our 4K. Like that's what we were promised. I get that. Like I 100% understand that. And I've told you, if you've been following this channel for a while, you've all heard me tell you to go get 1440p monitors so that you can be happy with your Xbox Series X or your PS5. I think that is a good resolution. Most of these games that are 864p are getting upscaled to 1440p, so they actually look pretty dang good running on a 1440p monitor. So if you're still sticking with 4K, that's kind of on you now. That's on you. These systems cannot do 4K 60 frames a second on a lot of these newer games that are coming out. So if you want good image quality along with your Xbox Series X or your PS5 or even your Series S, I highly recommend a 1440p monitor. But say you do want a 4K Xbox or a PlayStation 5. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. If you want it to be $500, you're probably never going to get that. I mean, if $500 is your max, that's like, hey man, this is where I drop it. This is what I want for that money. In order to get 4K resolution with the settings being, still being cranked up, still looking good, still being able to run at above 60 frames per second. You need about a $1,500 PC to be able to get you right in that sweet spot of 4K at 60 frames a second. That's pretty much that's pretty much a 7800 XT for that. So if you tie that in, it doesn't really matter. Like right now with the technology that's out, to get an SoC that it would be strong enough to give you that, to give you 4K and to run at 60 frames per second. I mean, maybe with some, yeah, I just don't know. There's you still gotta factor in like the overall console power. Most of these consoles are what, 200 watts, 300 watts. So you're gonna need more power to push. To push that on a PC, you're looking at least 650 watt power supply, maybe even 700 for a 7800 XT. So essentially, if PlayStation and Xbox want to sell you pro consoles, because in my opinion, the PS5, if anything, 15 teraflops max for a PS5 Pro. 15 teraflops max. For an Xbox, it would be, about the same. 15 to 16 teraflops is about where they would be able to push it and still come in at a console price range. If not, you got to kind of ask yourself, and I think Microsoft and Sony should be asking themselves, like, hey, should we come out? Because there's a lot, like, trust me, there's a lot of gamers, my age. There's a lot of gamers out there right now that would pay the money. They would pay $1,500 for a PS5. They would pay $1,500 for an Xbox Series X, like pro version. Like they would pay $1,500 because they want the security and the convenience and all of that at the console, but they also want the power. They want the PC power, they just don't want the PC. They want the PC experience, but they don't want to go out and pay for that. So I would think that if PlayStation and Xbox would come out with consoles that were $1,000 to $1,500 that could actually deliver on that 4K 60 FPS experience and still be able to run some games up to 120, I definitely think there's a market for that, and I do think that a lot of gamers would actually pay for that. I mean, what Xbox did this generation with the Series S and the Series X was very smart. There's a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, dude. I mean, Costco was selling Series S for $150 with the headset. You get a headset with that for $150 all through like the Christmas and stuff. So if Xbox can put out a console that they can sell to all the little kids that are getting these Xbox Series S's, that's all they need, dude. If you're under 16, Series S is really all you need. I mean, like, yeah, I know it'd be great to have whatever, and some parents are out there willing to shell out $500 for a console for their kids. But if you really think about it, my daughter and Junior, they're both happy with their Xbox Series S's. They don't even care. They're playing their games. They're happy. They're not having that problem. But as you start getting older, you start getting, to 16, 18, 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and you still want to be able to game as a console gamer, yeah, dude, I really do think there's a market out there for Xbox and PlayStation to be able to sell you $1,000 plus consoles easily. They could easily sell those and be able to make their money and do everything and keep you in their ecosystem, no problem. But let's get back to the whole thing about this whole video, which was Xbox coming out with a next-gen console as early as 2026. I think it's smart. I think it's incredible. Like, instead of, bringing out a mid-gen console refresh, which costs them money and development time and all of those resources that they got to scramble together to hurry up and put one of these together and tinker around with it and put it out there just a little bit, just to gain a little bit more power. No, go. If PlayStation is really putting out a PS5 Pro, I 100% think that Xbox should leapfrog and do a completely new generation. Why wouldn't they? They've got backward compatibility on lock, so moving to a new console generation for Xbox would not hurt them at all. It would give them the opportunity to bring in new features, to bring in new technology, to create a console that is even better than what we have right now, and still be able to deliver that at a console price, and still be able to have you in their ecosystem paying for the games, and still having them, I mean, like, obviously they would still be cross-gen games, but for them to be able to create a whole brand new console and a whole new I think it's smart. Why PlayStation's still sitting there playing around with PS5 Pro and wasting money and overcharging their customers? Xbox moving to a completely new generation would be absolutely smart. I mean, what like seriously, why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they? Why would they waste their time selling you a mid-gen console refresh when they already have a Series S and a Series X, when they could just come out and bring out a whole brand new generation? And yeah, I think it's smart. Anybody else that thinks that's a bad idea, or only the ponies? Only ponies think that would be a bad idea. We've all seen the incredible backwards compatibility from Xbox One to Series X. Yeah, do it. Do it, Xbox. 100% do it. Bring out a whole brand new console generation. And yeah, dude, that's awesome. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.